Hello, I would like to talk about sports and dyspraxia. It's a bit of a funny mix because dyspraxics can have a lot of trouble with sports, but some of us also can love sports. So let's start with, I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to start with. Skiing. I've been skiing probably 4 or 5 times, and it's a kind of thing where you have to be taught how to do it, otherwise it's going to go very wrong. I think that applies whether you're dyspraxic or not, because your skis have to be, you have to learn how to, I can't remember what it's called now. What's that called? You have to learn how to stop. So I've seen a lot of people go wrong with that when they start skiing, bless them. In fact, you know what? I've been skiing abroad about 4 or 5 times, but I've been on a dry slope many times. We used to do it sometimes as teenagers. There were a couple of places near where I grew up, not near, but like a couple of trains away, where we could ski on an artificial slope. So yeah, I've done it a lot of times actually. Forgot about that. The worst thing about skiing is the ski lift. You have to get these different kind of lifts to get you to the top of the mountain, and there's so many things that can go wrong. You have to get the timing right. So if you haven't been skiing, I'm just going to describe this to you, and you can imagine someone who has trouble with like moving their body at the appropriate moment to the right place, i.e. dyspraxics, how you could manage this like button lift. This is one of the lifts that you might have to use if you go skiing. It's just like a round, and it's only about that big. Wait, I can't really explain that on the camera. It's small, and it's a seat on a chain, and they keep coming round, and then they keep coming round and coming round, and you got to watch. And then when you're ready, you've got to try and be there, but you've got your skis on already because you're going to slide upwards up the mountain. Then you're going to hold onto it and then get on it, and then it pulls you up. So that's your first disaster waiting to happen. Another one is these kind of like seats, like you know those swing seats that people have in the garden. They're really nice and relaxing. It's not nice and relaxing. It's like the button lift. It's like here it comes. It's like here it comes. Then you have to like try to sit down, but you've got your skis on. Then you might be next to somebody as well. Because I remember when we were on one of our ski trips, I went on one with school once, and I was sitting next to David. He's that boy that I mentioned that I offended because he liked ping pong, but I wasn't trying to make fun of him. I was trying to make friends with him. Sorry, David. Do you watch my videos? We sat next to each other. We ended up sitting next to each other on the ski lift, one of those seat ones, and then Angels was on, you know, the Robbie Williams song that was out at the time, so that's how old that was. And then when you get to the top, because you're sitting on it, I think you've got to strap in, I guess you have to strap in. Then when you get to the top, you have to kind of like jump off at the right moment, because the thing is, it's going to keep on going, and then it's going to do this like lethal, the whole seat is going to go around this big metal thing and like swing around. So if you're not off, you're going to die, I think. Another one is like, you know, those kind of compartments that you just like, the door opens and then you have to get in. But all these things are just so challenging with dyspraxia because you have to factor in the skis as well. Anyway, skiing, that's a good sport though. It's individual. It's pretty fast. I like fast. So let's talk about some other sports. Well, you know, I used to be a bit of a runner, and I love running because you can go with the momentum. So once you're going, you're going. Whereas walking, you know, when people talk about exercise, really good exercise is to go for a walk. That's not always easy for dyspraxics. A lot of us, we could really enjoy walking, but it has to be done in a certain way because we can get fatigued by hanging around, and we can get tired from walking slowly. So if somebody stops to have a chat halfway along the walk, that could be a problem. This isn't just me, this is quite common in the dyspraxia community, so it's something that I've discussed with a lot of other dyspraxics. I'm not saying it applies to everybody. So walking if the rhythm's there and if you're going to keep going, somebody's not just going to keep trailing behind and just stress you out. That could be okay. You know, like with ball games, I've done a specific video about this, but I learned how to throw and catch when I was like in my 20s because somebody told me you have to keep your eye on the ball, but I just didn't know that because we have a problem with like eye tracking and relating it to like our physical movements with our body and proprioception. So now I'm really good at catching. I'm not being weird, I am actually really good at it. It's like, you know, I was like the worst and then when I knew how to do it, then I became like, oh, I kind of like never miss. And then it's the same with aim as well. Like, you know, when you like aim something, like you're going to throw something and then try and get it in the bin or something. We are like the worst at that because when I was at primary school, if I tried to throw in a ball game, it was like one of the most embarrassing things that happened to me every single week in primary school because, and I distinctly remember the other people who were probably dyspraxic in my class as well, that none of us knew, because it would be our turn to like throw the ball or something, and then you just try and throw it and it could just hit yourself or it could just go up there or just go over there, like anything could happen. It's really embarrassing because it seems like everybody else can do this and it's very simple for them, but we couldn't. But if you can learn it as dyspraxics, we can actually learn those skills, and it's really helpful to practice things like throwing with right arm and left arm and stuff like that. So we can actually kind of like probably gain a little bit of the development many years later in life, and if we'd had a chance when we were young, then excuse me, yeah, we probably could have embarrassed ourselves less, you know. Swimming's a good one. Swimming's a bit of a sensory issue because dyspraxics usually have sensory processing disorder, which I do. But the problem I had, I mean, I love swimming and I love water, but the problem I had was that, like, when I was under the water at swimming lessons, I couldn't hear the teacher anymore at all. Not enough to, I mean, it was, yeah. And that probably just sounds like, yeah, so what? But to me, that was a really stressful, tension-inducing thing that I couldn't hear the teacher telling me how to swim. Oh, hello, I thought you weren't coming in. Okay, I'm going to finish here because my son is here and he wants tickling. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me just say bye. Assalamu alaikum.